So I have it out of the car now, and I have to open it. So there are 5 screws that are 5 screws and plus a very strong bonding that is actually holding this cover of TCM on top of it. So as a first step, I'll just remove the screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'll remove these screws, and then I'll bring a torch and I'll try to heat up the sides so that the glue or the gasket or the sealant, whatever that's holding it inside these 2 plates, I'll try to soften it up using that torch. You can use a heat gun or a hair dryer if you have it. If not, you can just try to pry it open using a flayed blade and a couple of flayed blades, and then a knife. You can cut the bonding or whatever that's holding it. You can use a knife to cut it. I'll try to use a heat gun, and then I'll try these 2 tools to actually open the covers. Alright, it took me a lot of time to open it up. I think probably around 20-30 minutes. Usually people manage to open it up in 10 minutes, but I'm not sure. Probably this one was too tight for me. So I even used a heat torch to soften up this glue that are at the edges. So I'll just warm up the edge first and try to use my flatheads and use them as a chisel and hammer them up. Plus I had a knife to cut this gasket up whenever I had a visibility or chance, but it was of little to no use. So yeah, pretty much I had to use these chisels to open it up. So now let's see how it goes with repairing this one. After inspecting this TCM, I think that I know why it failed. Usually these TCMs fail without any reason, but in this particular case, I think that this particular TCM is water damage. You can see that the water somehow managed to enter it. I mean, this seal was so strong. I doubted that the water would ever make progress into it, but it looks like, yeah, the water entered it. And if you look at the other end of this section, you'll see that there is some board which is there is some traces of water at the bottom. If I put it under the microscope and show you what it is, I think that, yeah, now you can have a better idea of what we're looking at. So I think that yeah, see, you can see that the positive here, it's actually grounded with the rest of all these things, and I think probably all these things need to be changed. So I'll see if I can fix it, because I have to open up and look at the other side of this board, and probably there is some damage at the other side. I'm not really sure what I'll be expecting, but yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll see how it goes. Alright guys, this is how it looks like after cleaning. It may not be 100%, but it is a lot better than what it used to be. So I tested each and every of these individual component after cleaning, and it looks good. I mean, this one was originally connected to the ground strip via this underlying ground wire, which you might be able to see. So yeah, it's working perfectly. Similarly, all these resistors, they are okay. Whatever these things are, they are not shorted. They all exhibit similar properties. I assume they are good. There is a bit of corrosion that have seeped underneath the board, but I can't do anything about it. So yeah, there were a couple of other items which I had to clean up. There was something over here. There was a dab of rust between these 2 terminals. I cleaned that up. And then there was these 3. There was originally a bit of rust here. I cleaned them up, and all these ends are grounded with this one. So yeah, it looks like, even though there's a bit of corrosion, but it looks good. So now let me show you how those pins on this thing are actually compressed into the fittings. Let's see if we can get a bit good zoom onto it. So alright, so these are the pins. This is the one view, the side view. This is the side of it, so let me see if I can get a better view of it. Alright, I think now you'll be able to see how it looks like from the side. So yeah, you have to, if you have something, one way of doing it would be to actually compress a pin from the both sides and then push it down, and you have to individually do it, but it's not possible because there are too many of it, and it's not possible to actually hold one down while compressing others. So other thing which the people use is they use some kind of a flayed blade and put it over here and wedge this up. so they work around the board, and slowly these things come up. I've seen a couple of Russian videos where the guy just rips it apart, and it's still okay. I tried removing it, but one of the locating dowels on the board, this snapped up, so it looks like mine is pretty much jammed up. So I won't go any further. I'll just go ahead and put some dab of solder on all these wires that are coming up, these ones, and all over the board, and then I'll just put it back up and see if it works. So I tried using solder on one connector, but it wasn't looking really easy and good, so I just went ahead. I had some solder paste with me, so I dabbed all these connectors with the solder paste. So the good thing about solder paste is that once it gets heat, it tries to stick to the metal parts automatically, and it looks messed right now, but probably after I'm done it doesn't look too bad. So let's see how it goes. As I'm done with the first batch of pins, the flux and the heat gun didn't work out for me, so I had to go back to the soldering iron. So yeah, all the pins look okay. They may not be pretty, but I think that they'll work. None of them are connecting others, and they look like they had good blob of solder on them, so it should be okay. So let's I'll just go ahead and do the rest of the board. Alright, so I managed to put some solders around these compression points where the connectors were going in. Now the last thing before I put it up back together is to remove this capacitor which is stuck in there. So apparently they put some glue in there, which when you remove it, there is a very good chance that this will be stuck inside the other cover where these motors are attached. So what I'm gonna do is that I've decided to sacrifice one of my screws, so I've bent it up a bit so that I can just go through the back from here on the top and the bottom and loosen it up carefully, because I'm really not sure if I can get a replacement capacitor for this one if I destroy it, and without removing it and plugging it in this casing, I'm not sure that if I just put it back in it will go in or not. So yeah, to be safe, I think it's good to remove this first, put it over there, and without destroying it. So yeah, let's see how it goes. This is what I ended up doing. I wasn't able to take out the capacitor, and I might have ended up destroying it. So since I just wanted to check whether I've fixed the rest of the issues with TCM, so I just went ahead with these jumper wires. So I just soldered them over there at the capacitor end and used the spade connector at the other end of the connector. So I'll just put it like this without putting any sealant in. Just put the 5 screws back in, and then I'll put it in the car and see if it works. If it works, then probably I'll take it back out, put the sealant in, and do something permanent for these capacitor connectors. So let's see how it goes.